Hi, this is Landy with Peak Possibilities, and today I want to talk about how our breath can help us heal our pelvic floor. So we end up with pelvic floor dysfunction for a variety of reasons. It can be postpartum, it can be that we're an athlete, and a lot of female athletes end up with pelvic floor dysfunction. A variety of reasons why. It can be too tight of a pelvic floor, it can be a weak pelvic floor, so your Kegel answer is not the best, because if you have a weak pelvic floor, Kegels may work. But if you have a too tight a pelvic floor and your Kegels keep contracting, you're just making a tight pelvic floor. You're not resolving the issue. Breath work is one of the beginning steps to healing. So today I'm going to teach you what to do to start engaging your pelvic floor with your breath so you can start on your healing journey. The very first thing to know is that our respiratory diaphragm and our pelvic floor should work in sync. So as we inhale, the respiratory diaphragm lowers, our pelvic floor should also lower. And that's because as the respiratory diaphragm lowers for our lungs to get air, it pushes our abdominal contents down, stomach and intestines and things like that, onto our pelvic floor. The pelvic floor should also lower to give room. That makes sure that we don't have increased intra-abdominal pressure. If something is going on and we have some kind of disconnect, then as our respiratory diaphragm lowers, it's pushing all the abdominal contents down. As it goes down, if our pelvic floor is too tight or disconnected and it's not syncing with our respiratory diaphragm, then everything gets squished down. That pressure, as it increases that intra-abdominal pressure, that pressure has to go somewhere. Where is the pressure going to go? It's going to go to the weakest area of your body, of your core. So is it going to go out your pelvic floor as leakage, or is it going to push down and create prolapse, or is it going to go through your diastasis recti and create some kind of pressure here, opening up that DR? So there's a variety of ways that we see dysfunction. One of the very first things that we need to do is get that reconnected, so that we're reconnecting our pelvic floor and our respiratory diaphragm, as well as that, so we're getting that brain-body connection as well. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to inhale, and you should feel that your pelvic floor relaxes. So I want you to try it. So take a big inhale. What do you feel? Do you feel that pelvic floor relax, or do you feel nothing happen? What's going on? So just kind of take note, because right now we're just taking note of what's going on with our body. As you exhale, your pelvic floor should lift. So exhale. That pelvic floor should lift up. So it's not a hard contraction like a Kegel, it's just a subtle lift. So it's inhale, relax, exhale, subtle lift. And so we want that to occur as we're breathing. And we want it to be automatic, so we're not even thinking about it. But when we do bring notice to our pelvic floor, we want to make sure that that's what's going on. So the very first thing that you're going to start doing is you're going to start by practicing relaxing and engaging your pelvic floor as you breathe. So you take that inhale, your pelvic floor relaxes. As you exhale, that pelvic floor gently lifts and engages. You're going to do it again. Inhale, it relaxes. Exhale, it engages. So as you do that, and you can do your inhales and your exhales and your engaging in pelvic floor work while you're doing the dishes, while you're standing in line at the grocery store, one of the big things I want you to make sure you're doing is have good posture. So if you're slumped down, you're not going to be able to have everything connected well, and you're going to be creating more pressure. So I want you to be sitting tall, long and lean, ribs over hips, and be able to engage that pelvic floor. If you're trying these exercises and you're like, nothing is happening, I am not connecting with my pelvic floor at all, you can use visualization. It works for all athletes, and there's a lot of visualization that goes on to regain and to better your skills. So you can use visualization where you relax your pelvic floor and you're visualizing that pelvic floor go down and you're visualizing it engage. It's not a huge movement. It's a nice relax and re-engage. If you're still having difficulties and you're just not able to reconnect with that pelvic floor and that breath, then it's time to seek out a pelvic therapist. And a pelvic therapist is specially trained to help with your pelvic region, like a physical therapist. If you had a shoulder injury, if you had a knee injury, if you had a hand injury, you're going to seek out a physical therapist or an occupational therapist to help you figure out what's going on, strengthen the muscles that need to be strengthened, be able to stretch the muscles that need to be stretched, get back to a functional balance. So that's what a pelvic floor therapist is. Pelvic floor therapist does is help you get back to a functional balance with your pelvic floor, so you no longer have the leakage and you no longer have the prolapse and all of the issues that are going on. You can see those improvements, so you don't have to live life like that. So if you're not engaging your pelvic floor as you breathe in and you breathe out, it's time to seek out a professional to help you figure out what's going on so that you can start engaging that pelvic floor. But that's the first step to healing, is connecting that breath and your pelvic floor. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you about your own personal issues and see what we can do to help. Talk to you later.